guys, what is up? It is Mackie and Amanda. I'm Amanda.
I'm Mackie, and we're the Spooky Boos, bringing you the all-new Spooky Boos Podcast,
where we're just gonna cover all things spooky.
If you're listening to this podcast right now, it's actually going to be posted weekly on our YouTube channel as well, where you can see us in my room, which is haunted, sitting on the bed with a haunted doll sitting in between us.
With a little bit.
Yeah. But if you don't want to watch YouTube, we'll post this on all platforms where you listen to podcasts, so you have two options. If you do want to watch on YouTube, our channel is Mackie and Amanda, and everything will be linked in the description.
I feel like we're really funny to watch.
I do too.
I don't want to like toot my own horn, but I'm cracking myself
I know.
up over here,
In the way we're just sitting on my bed, like
with the
so
doll
casually.
between us.
I know, just so
I know,
not paranormal.
And meanwhile, we're talking about speaking to the dead.
I know.
And
Yeah. So we just want to give you guys those two options.
Definitely not what you'd expect.
Yeah. No.
Our whole idea behind this podcast was kind of to go along weekly with our videos that we're putting out on YouTube.
Yeah.
To go more in depth and tell you guys what happened specifically behind the scenes while we were recording in these haunted locations.
Yeah, because a lot of times when crazy stuff happens at these places, we kind of just keep moving on and don't really explain what we were actually thinking or what really happened. So we thought this podcast would be a great idea to go more in detail to these locations that we are investigating at and give you some behind the scenes details and maybe share some funny stories and just what we experienced.
Yeah, because I feel like, I guess even just starting off strong, this last location that we just filmed at, Mackie, was the Biltmore Hotel.
Yeah.
In downtown Los Angeles.
Oh,
which was crazy. We captured something on camera, those 4 knocks that you can see in our video that we posted on YouTube, and our reaction video. We highlighted the craziest things that happened there, and that was one of our top.
Yeah.
But should we talk about the 4 knocks a little bit? Because
yeah,
I feel
let's
like
do it.
that's the one that I can't get out of my head.
No, that was just on so many different levels for so many different reasons. It was unexplainable. So
yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're walking around the Millennium Biltmore. It's around, I don't know, 2:30 a.m.
Yeah, I'd say 2:30.
Yeah, and Mackie does all of our editing. So I'm watching this video footage back from us walking around the Biltmore at 2:30 a.m. and I hear, I'm talking about the spirits being really, really negative, and all of a sudden you hear just 4 clear as day knocks.
Oh, and the weirdest part is when I was editing, I didn't hear it. And the thing is, I go through the footage so carefully and listen so closely to the point where even 4 seconds before, there was the most faint whisper that I caught. So the fact that I didn't catch these super loud, distinct knocks, it was just insane to me.
No, like,
it's like they weren't there.
Okay, and the fact that you even say that. So yeah, for you to go through this footage minute by minute, pick down every single minute noise, knock, whisper that you hear, and to point it out, and then to have these 4 clear as day distinct knocks that even the viewers caught and put in the comments. Like, there's no way that you would have just glimpsed over that and not heard it. And that comes in to play being super weird. Because, about 2 weeks ago, I went to the Conjuring house with Sam and Colby. And while we were recording, before we even started, really, our investigation, we're sitting in the kitchen of the Conjuring house. And the owner, Corey, is telling us how sometimes you can capture things that you wouldn't capture on film or you wouldn't hear with your own ears on voice recordings.
See, it's so weird to me because I feel like voice recordings and cameras are so similar, so the fact that one would pick it up and not the other has always just been...
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense,
right?
But it happens.
And it's like, so this one in the Conjuring house, we're sitting at the table, and I'm talking about these 3 men that I'm seeing outside, these spirits. And I had just opened up my voice recording app 3 minutes and like 11 seconds before. Because
the night is young.
The night is young. We haven't even started like our investigation in this house yet. And all of a sudden we hear,
God.
And we all stop our talk and we're looking at each other like, oh my god, did you guys just hear those whistles? Like, that was clear as freaking day. So I'm like, I don't want to brag or anything, but I just started a voice recording 3 minutes ago.
Oh my god.
So we stopped talking about it. Colby's literally filming the whole thing on camera, so you'll have the footage lining up with the noise. It was insane, oh my gosh. So we play it back to see if we can hear these whistles on the voice memo. And we hear...
No way.
And I swear to you, Mackie, we all lost our minds at this kitchen table.
I bet.
Because we heard the whistles clear as day, all sitting there, but none of us heard those knocks that came after.
It's so strange because you being a medium, being able to see these things so clearly, like when something like that happens and you're unaware of it,
oh my god,
like, how is that possible?
It makes me so nervous. Yeah. And that's why, like, I've always described, people are like, what do you see? Like, if there's a heaven, if there's a hell, like, what are you seeing? Obviously, those people aren't in either of those places. And I've always described it, I think this is super different, and I've never heard somebody else say this. But it's kind of like when you're making your bed in the morning, and you have that fitted sheet that's impossible to get on with all this
I hate
that's
that
like,
one.
I hate that one. That's the world we live in, Mackie, you know? That's like what everyone sees, like normal people and gifted people. That's just the plane that we live on. And then right above that little fitted sheet that's horrible to put on, you have like the top sheet. And that's the world that I might see into. Spirits in the other realm. And then you have the comforter on top, and who even freaking knows what's going on up there? Like, I might not see into that. Some people might. Who knows?
Like a whole other dimension.
Exactly, because like there's so much out there that people don't see that I do. So how much is out there that I don't see?
Oh, that thought is just terrifying.
Isn't it horrible?
Because you've seen the worst of the worst.
I know.
So to think there might even be worse than that is...
Yeah, but you know what? Along that lake, there might be better.
That's true.
Like I've seen really bad things, and I've seen really good things.
There's always a balance to even each other out.
Yeah, well, there can't be like evil without good, and vice versa. I guess we're getting all philosophical.
I know, and a lot of people are like, I believe in demons, but I don't believe in angels. Or I believe in angels and not demons, but it's like, how can you believe in one and not the other? Right?
And there's always like a spiritual war going on. I've heard people say, even if you're religious or not, doesn't matter. Like, there is a spiritual war going on that you don't see. And I happen to like see that every single day of my life. Like, that's the world that I live in also, you know?
Yeah.
I have my foot like on both ends. So I don't know, this whole Biltmore experience, I feel like as we're going on these adventures, like my gift, I've always seen things.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I really started diving into and exploring or investigating, especially until I met you.
I know, and that was just so shocking to me because I found Amanda on TikTok. I saw one of her videos and I was like so drawn to for some reason. I see a lot of people on TikTok and I've never had such like a strong urge to reach out to someone. So I saw her video about how she saw this demon, or she used to live with this demon in her old house. And just growing up, it sounded so similar to something that I went through growing up in my house. So I knew instantly, I'm like, I need to get this girl over to my house and see what she sees so I can prove that I'm not crazy. And then from that point, she came over and it just went from there. And we started going to
haunted hotels.
Yeah, to haunted hotels, haunted places. And I just never even knew, or I didn't even consider that is something, like, you've never gone out of your way to, like, these type places. Yeah,
well, a lot of people ask me too, like, being a medium, is that something I can practice? Is that something I can, like, make myself? And I don't really know if the answer is yes or no. I've definitely heard other people say that you can practice mediumship and it's something that you can fine-tune and get better at, but personally it's just not something that I've explored myself.
Yeah.
Because for a long time, this wasn't something that was good in my life. Like, this was a real negative. It sucked for a long time. That house I grew up in where I had that negative experience, like, for you, a lot of it wasn't good either.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it was just, for me, it was all scary. All of it. Even if it was a good spirit, it was still scary for me.
Yeah, it wasn't something that, like, you wanted to deal with or you knew how or, like, were equipped with. And that's how it was for me for so long. Like, it wasn't even something that was really discussed in my family.
Yeah. No,
and everyone knew what was going on, like, in my immediate family, but my grandparents didn't know. Like, it wasn't a good thing, so it wasn't something that we talked about.
Yeah.
But after moving out of that house, I saw much less bad and much more good, and we talk about it on our YouTube if you're interested. I'm sure it'll come out more here. And then literally a year ago this month, Mackie, I posted my very first TikTok about speaking to the dead. And I swore I was never gonna do it because I swore I was never gonna download TikTok.
Me too.
But here we are sitting in a room recording a podcast about a year later.
I know. With a combined of over 1 million followers.
That's insane. How did we let this happen?
Who
gave us
idea.
a platform?
I was never gonna be this person. Whoever gave us a platform, that's their mistake.
What were they thinking?
I have no idea.
Shout out to my brother because like I have a big brother.
Yeah.
So you're always like, oh my gosh, I want to be like my big brother. So like my favorite color was his favorite color. And then in high school, like when Vine came out and stuff. My brother was like, I'm gonna get Vine famous. My brother has been banned on Vine. He got banned on TikTok. He got banned from Twitter. Literally everything.
Why?
Because he just posts very bad things.
Oh my god.
He knows they're gonna get him in trouble, and he knows they're gonna get him banned. But he's like really going for that, not like shock factor. But he's like, I'm gonna get famous. So I feel like I just had to like one up him and get my foot in the door first. You know, I'm like, sorry Ty, but
and you post 2 videos and just go viral.
Yeah, well, yeah, my very first video that I posted got over 5 million views now.
That's so crazy.
I know. People that like I knew in high school started reaching out to me being like, is this true? Like, do you really speak to dead people? And I had to be like, I had to answer their DMs and their tags to be like, Shaw. Like, yeah, it is.
That must have been, I couldn't even imagine, honestly.
I did end up going to lunch, like dinner, with 2 friends from high school who didn't know. And had a crazy experience with her and her grandma who came through.
Told me about this. It's crazy.
Should I talk about it?
Yeah,
okay.
Do it. It's a good one.
So yeah, I had all these people reaching out to me from high school because nobody knew. Even my best friend, I didn't tell her until probably our senior year of high school.
See, with me, I've literally still haven't really told any of my friends about this stuff, about like what I've seen or my house.
How do you bring it up?
Like, you don't. Like, people are gonna like not believe you, and it's just like, you just live with it.
Yeah, and I think that's like, even in our comments, I find that with a lot of people who follow us. Like, they're like, oh my gosh, I see things too. I've never been comfortable talking about it. I've never heard someone talk about their gifts like you guys do. Like, I think that there are a lot more of us out there than we realize, but because it's something that's not as socially accepted, and it is now more than ever.
Totally.
But
so many people are like opening up to it, but still it's like,
even my aunt, when I told her, she was like, hey Amanda, I love you, but no you don't.
Yeah.
And it came out later. I ended up my aunt came back a few months later and totally had changed her tune. Like, she walked in and was like, hey Amanda, do I have anybody with me? And I was like, now you want to know.
Look at you crawling back.
But I was like, yeah, you actually do. You have a man with you. Like, who's Jeff? And normally names aren't my strong suit, Mackie, you know, but she was like, oh my god, that's who passed away. Like, that was my friend. And she's like, do you know what happened to him? And all this stuff just came through. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I don't feel like he died in an airplane crash, because I know that, like, his death, like, he was sick. I can feel it. But, like, I just can't get this image of an airplane out of my head. He was an airplane mechanic. Right? Super weird.
Oh my god.
So, like, it definitely still, like, came into play. And then I was like, oh my gosh, like, who in your family wasn't able to be there for the death? And she was like, Noah, that's my cousin. And it was just tearing Noah up. And this man, like, Jeff, told me, he goes, I see so much of myself in Noah.
Oh, that's so sad.
And that's when my aunt, there's always some point where they start
always
down,
some
you know?
point.
She starts crying and she says that's exactly what he always used to say. So Noah wasn't able to be there for the death. Like, that was him coming back to say goodbye. But my aunt, definitely changed her tune after that. Was kind of like, it was undeniable.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just for so many people, it's just a thing, you won't believe it until you see it, or like something like that happens to you.
No, absolutely.
And it sucks, like, especially if you're growing up seeing this type of thing and no one else in your household is.
Us?
Yeah, you're like completely alone with it, and like,
yeah, it's not the best.
You're crazy, but
it definitely can be a rough situation. I mean, I didn't start off in the best spiritual position, and now look at us. Like,
I know.
We're doing great.
Exactly.
But, I gotta get back to this, like, girl, oh my gosh. Tangents.
We go on tangents.
What were we talking about?
I know.
This is why we needed a podcast.
Yeah, exactly, because we can't just go like this in a YouTube video. No one would follow us.
People would be like, oh gosh, can I block them?
I know.
But I ended up meeting these 2 girls for lunch who I've known all through high school.
Okay.
And she, like, immediately, like, she's like not trying not to bring it up, you know, like this was just a casual, I wanted to catch up.
Oh,
I'm like, girl, I know you saw my TikTok.
Yeah.
Sorry, shout out Nessa. But we're sitting there and she finally hits me with the like, do I have anyone with me? And I was like, why the motherfucker you do? And her grandma came through with all of these names, and
oh my god,
they actually like speak a different language too. They're Persian.
Oh.
So I had written down all these things. Her grandma was like a little racist, not like racist, but definitely was like towards me like, I will accept your help because like you're offering it, but I wouldn't ask. I was like, bro, like, I didn't, like, you don't have to have my help, like, get somebody else's.
That's quite rude.
Who's gonna help you out, man?
I know.
But, just told me all of this crazy stuff, and probably the one that stuck with me the most from this reading, there was a lot, but the craziest one was, she's like, what is she saying now? And I'm, like, listening, kind of doing my thing, and I look at Nessa, and I go, this sounds so odd, just like the maroon jacket tonight.
Yes.
But I was like, she's saying that jewelry is meant to be worn. Like, it makes a woman more beautiful.
Huh.
Does that make any sense to you?
I mean, she's not wrong.
Right? But, like, what a weird thing to say.
No, that's really weird.
And Nessa...
That's like a riddle.
Right? I was like, what does this even mean? It doesn't mean anything to me.
Yeah.
But to Nessa, she knew exactly the minute I said it what she was talking about. A couple days before, or the day before we had gotten dinner, all of the women in the family had divvied up her jewelry and like picked their favorite pieces, so they all had a piece of her jewelry. Nessa took her necklace that she got from her grandma and put it in a shadow box up on her wall. And her grandma had seen her do this.
Oh my god.
So that's why she said jewelry is meant to be worn. Because her jewelry was sitting in a shadow box on Nessa's wall.
Oh my god.
So, like, to me, I was like, what the heck is she saying?
Just straight calling her out.
Yeah, but letting Nessa know that she had seen what she had done with the jewelry. Like, those are the things that your relatives will say, or that suit jacket.
Yeah.
Where there's no possible way I could have known that.
No. No physical way.
But that validates 100% between that person that I'm speaking with and the person who's crossed over.
Yeah.
That they're speaking to their loved one, and not only that they're speaking to them, but that they stay with them, and they see what you do.
Yeah.
She saw Nessa put her necklace in a shadow box dedicated to her on her wall. She watched the whole thing and then told Nessa to take it down and wear it.
That's crazy, because it's like a lot of people are like, mediums just say things that are so general.
Yeah.
But especially with you, it's things like that are just so specific that there's no denying it. Like tonight... so
that was crazy, Mackie.
If you don't know anything about me, my house is haunted, and I have a couple people that I was close to who have passed away. One of them was my friend. He's actually my first boyfriend, but after that we remained best friends. And so basically, he's been seen around my house. I feel him and hear him a lot. And tonight we're standing out in the kitchen, and the second we walk in, we were just at a different haunted location. We walked in my house and Amanda says, oh my gosh, there's someone standing here. He's so tall and dressed in a suit extremely nicely. And I said to my mom, is it your Uncle Craig? Because that sounded like him, and I was picturing like someone older. And Amanda said, he's wearing a maroon suit.
Which is, I almost didn't say it, because I was like, you know what, I'm colorblind. I was like, maybe it was just like a really dark navy or like black, but I was like, no, I know, matter of fact, without a doubt in my head, that was a maroon suit. I just saw that guy in your living room.
Yeah, and the second she said that, I was like, it's my friend, and I said my friend's name.
Did you just hear the knock?
Yes, I did.
Again?
Yeah.
Bro!
Amanda. What was
that? Literally sounded like a bouncy ball.
It
like,
did.
You know how like it gets quicker like as it...
Yes. I know on the podcast you're gonna think we're faking this, but we're recording this as well, and you can see.
I guarantee you're gonna be able to hear it on the camera. That was insane, bro.
Insane.
What? The minute and you say he taps to you all the time.
Yes,
he always knocks.
That's the main form of communication with him. He'll tap, knock on walls. If I say, hey, can you tap on the wall real quick, instantly it's a response like that. That was crazy. But okay, back to the suit. So she said he's wearing a maroon suit. Instantly I looked at my mom, I said, that's my friend. I said his name, and she's like, oh my gosh, it was, because his favorite suit was a maroon suit, and it was a suit that he was buried in, and his mom had texted my mom before the funeral and said, can you go pick it up for us? So it is located somewhere about an hour and a half from my house. So we went and picked it up and brought it back, and that's what he was buried in, that maroon suit with the black pants that you said.
Which is so crazy to me because I met one other time, and it was in our friend Kelsey's apartment.
Yes.
And me and Kelsey were just talking about all the spirits that were in the room, and then I go, there's actually one with Mackie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little boy. He's probably like around 10 to 12, blonde, cutie, total cutie. And Mackie's like, oh my gosh, what does he look like? What does he look like? Like, what's his name? Yeah. And I go, Mackie, he's got the biggest crush on you. Like, he has such a thing for Mackie. And then was so embarrassed.
Yes.
Like, just mortified that I called him. Like, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Just mortified. And I actually physically broke out in hives myself. He was so embarrassed.
Her whole chest broke out in hives, and she's like, he just got so embarrassed that I told you that. I'm like, I think it's... And so I pulled up a picture of him and showed her from the time where me and first met. Like, it was the day
Which is
after. That age. And I showed her the picture. She's like, that's him. And the way he presented himself to her was from literally the day after we met.
So that's like so insane to me because he presented himself to me at the age that you guys met literally a few months ago.
Yeah.
And today I just saw him standing in your kitchen at the age that he passed in the suit that he's wearing.
It's so insane. It's like, how do you explain that?
You can't. And like a lot of people, I posted that very first TikTok that was about the experience. How my mom very first, like, undoubtedly, like, realized that I was speaking to dead people. Like, there was not a doubt in her mind. She couldn't put it off anymore and think of any other explanation because of what I had just said.
Yeah.
And that's the same situation that, like, just happened in the kitchen.
I know.
Where there are some things that come through that they show me that are just so undeniably true that there's no possible way I would have known. Another one was, I traded that reading for a haircut.
Oh, yeah.
And I was in dire need of a haircut. Please don't judge. COVID hit.
I know. Amanda getting free stuff in return for readings.
So my mom actually, like, knows this woman. She works with her. And she's around our age. Like, she's definitely younger, like in her 30s. And she's cut my hair before. I've read her before. Her mom's super, super into this kind of spooky stuff, mediums. And her dad came through. And I did a pretty specific reading. Her dad, like, left when she was young and went and kind of started a new family. Yeah. And he just had a lot to apologize for. So when I was going to get my hair cut, my mom's like, hey, by the way, I told him that you would do a reading in exchange for a haircut. It just, like, totally threw me in the lion's den.
That's so funny.
So I was like, oh, shit, the pressure's on. I started panicking right away. But I was like, it's not a big deal. But I told my mom I'm a little worried just because I have read for this family before. Yeah. And the reading was, like, super basic. Like, nothing insane came through. Like, it was specific for them. Yeah. But he's already said his piece and said what he needed to say. Why would he come back? Yeah. I'm worried that I'm not going to have anything new to tell her. He said his piece. And she goes, actually, somebody new passed away. Oh. Like, I'm not going to give you any more information than that because I asked not to. But somebody new passed away, so don't worry about that. And I was like, interesting. Great. Fantastic. So I go in, I get my hair cut. She does a killer job, and then takes me into her house. And they bought me a salad. Super nice. It was fantastic. But I walk in, and there's 6 women, maybe 7 women, and more on FaceTime, sitting at the, like, kitchen table. So I walk in just to, like, a full, like, reading party for you. Yeah, and I like look around, I'm like holding my salad and I'm like, oh, it's a medium surprise party. I was in too deep, bro. I was surprised. Everyone else knew. It was just the medium who did it. I was like, this is super messed up. Oh my god. But I'm in too deep at that point. Yeah, I can't be like, thanks for the haircut piece. Yeah. So I sit down at the table. Suck it up. Honestly, right? So I'm sitting there and they're all staring at me. And I'm like waiting for somebody to come through. And then the woman walks into the kitchen, a spirit. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's your mom. It was like they were all sisters, so it was some of their grandmas, some of their moms. Yeah. And they go, what is she saying? They like all jump on me.
God.
Naturally, I get it. She had just passed.
Wow.
And I go, she's not saying anything, but like she's showing me necklaces. And then they go, does she care what we do with her body? Like right away, they just like boom.
So she had like just passed.
She had literally just passed.
Oh,
so I'm sitting there, and then she just shows me the necklaces again. And I'm like, all she's showing me, like she's not even talking, is these necklaces. Like, does that mean anything to you guys? Like do you guys have a necklace? And I'm thinking maybe like she's like they're divvying out necklaces from her will, something like that. She wants them all to have a piece of her. Like that's what she's kind of giving me the idea of. And they all go silent. And I'm like, oh my god, what did I just say? She like sets down this bag in front of me, and it's full of jewelry boxes. And in these jewelry boxes are the necklaces that I was describing that her mother was showing me.
Oh my gosh.
And you open them up and you can put human ashes in them. So that's why she had told me that she wants everyone to have a piece of her. Like it was so that was like literally the first thing that came out of my mouth when I sat down at their table was something so crazy. And they'd all been fighting about it. Was something so crazy specific to the family and like the situation that they were dealing with currently. And then at another point, we were like sitting there for another minute, and they were all discussing, because it was like, some of them wanted to bury her, some of them wanted to cremate her and do that, so they were like, not sure. Yeah, so the fact that she came through
wanted to be cremated, basically.
Yeah, so the fact that she came through and was just like, hey, like, discussion's over, this is what I want.
That's so cool.
Like,
did they do it?
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Ended the family topic, though, so super cool. Like, totally stopped the family fight.
Wow.
And then the second thing that she said that just like blew their minds was literally the second thing that she told me. And they're all like, what else is she saying? What else is she saying? And I go, she wants you to put the light back in her room. Right?
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Nothing to us. And they, again, all just lose their minds. She had a nightlight in her room because she lived with her daughter, one of her daughters and her husband's. And she had a nightlight in their room that night. Before I came. Yeah. So a few days after she passed away, the battery burnt out. And they got up and they picked it up off the mantle that was like 10 feet away from us into their doorway, like entrance to their house. And they showed me the light and they go, this is the light that she's talking about.
Oh my god.
So like that's the validating that they stay around. Just like with Nessa and like take my necklace out of your jewelry box or out of your shadow box. Yeah. Fix the nightlight in my room that went out last night.
And it's like, no way you could have known it.
Who would say that? A nightlight. A nightlight. Put the light back in my room.
Wow.
I didn't even know that she lived there.
That's just mind-blowing. Like, I don't even know what to say.
No, so sometimes people ask me like, oh, well, what if you're schizophrenic?
Yeah.
Like, I respect the questions. I get all the answers. For a while, my mom was
valid.
Yeah, my mom was concerned that I might be, or something was wrong with me. I might have, I might be, what did I just say, schizophrenic, I might be autistic, like, she did have these concerns, but it was when I started saying things like that, and reading strangers in public places, people that I wouldn't know,
that she realized,
that she was like, damn, my kid sees the dead.
Yeah, that must have been so terrifying for her, and that's something we can go into on an upcoming episode
of the Spooky Boos.
Because there's a lot. This is just brushing the surface.
I know, I feel like there's so much that's happened in the past year.
Oh,
even just in the year.
In the past year has been crazy, but just like stories from when we were younger just are terrifying.
This was all within the year. Every single story that I just shared, honestly, it was probably within the last 6 months.
I know, and this is just like brushing the surface, picking out a few. There's so many.
Just the ones that like fit this story.
So we'll get way more into detail on our stories in future episodes.
Catch your spooky boos.
Okay, how about...
Bro, so if you want to... Sorry, I'm turning this on because something just came in here with us. It was at 0 the entire time. It just shot up to 9. Did you see that?
Yes. Now it's going back down.
It's like the second we know, it leaves.
Yeah.
Bro, how insane is that though?
That's crazy.
It was at 0 the whole time.
She was holding an EMF meter, which basically shows you a reading on electromagnetic fields. So the base number is 0, and whenever a frequency or energy comes in, the number will skyrocket up. and Amanda said someone just walked in. It's been at 0 the whole night. And all
I
of a sudden,
held it to where they were.
and it skyrocketed. So that's weird. That's another thing we'll get into. The spirit that's in my house that's scared of us, and if we acknowledge him, he runs from us. So,
but torments you any other time.
Yep, exactly.
He's a pleasure.
A joy to have around the house.
He's our number one fan.
Yeah. He's obsessed with us. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed this first podcast. We're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. I know we're going to talk about the Biltmore, but this is more of an intro podcast, and maybe we'll get into that next time. So.
We are all over the place, but that's what we promised you guys.
Yeah.
This is like just raw, natural us talking about the stuff that we do for you guys.
And then maybe in the future even we'll have some special guests on here and interview them.
Oh my gosh, we already have a few people that we've like talked about, and I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
So make sure you guys follow along on this journey.
We are Mackie and Amanda on all social media platforms.
Yep.
So catch your spooky boos there.
We'll talk to you guys next time.